Hello, Last Midgen here, and today we have something different. I'm going to be going over a few tips, tricks, and facts for you today, and hopefully you'll learn something new by the end of this video. And by pressing the bell, it'll show you exactly where a pillager is, which is super useful if you can't find the last pillager during the raid, and you're just running around trying to find it. Just decide to run around with the bell. It has a certain radius it can't go over, so if the pillager is a certain amount away, it won't be able to trigger it, so you can just run around, put down the bell and ring it, which is so much easier than checking every nook and cranny for where possibly the pillager could be. For the next part, we're going to be showing you about beacons. Beacons are what a lot of people use, and sometimes you have to work around them to get what you think would look nice and what wouldn't, and trying to work through some things is very difficult. So if you want to, you can always use slabs or stairs to keep a beacon looking nice while having the light go through it, which is super fluffy. You might notice that if you have any low-hanging glowberry vines or any berry bushes, that sometimes they will start going everywhere if you have foxes. And that's because foxes will pick the berries off of either of these two plants to eat them. Another one about berries. If you put sweet berries underneath a carpet or moss carpet, they will prevent any mobs from going over them. As well as wolves will attack and scare skeletons, and cats will scare creepers but not attack them. If I were to summon a wolf, it would flee from the llama, because the llama terrifies it, which is good to prevent wild wolves from attacking your sheep if you haven't had a chance to tame any of the wild wolves around you yet. Water streams can take mobs and items down to wherever you need them to be, and there are many different ways to make a water stream. You can have the water stream going all the way to the very end of a block, to as far as the water can reach. It can go and meet ice, and if the ice were continued on, the item would be able to just fly over the ice really quickly. And waterlogged stairs are some of the most important things in my view when it comes to water streams, because they are able to stop a majority of water from going through, and it can really shorten a water stream if you don't have that much room. This is also a good example of how water streams work, where if it reaches the end or you want to stop somewhere, you can either put a sign there, and as I've done it this way, you can also put a sign up here to make a water stream that gets mobbed a lot easier. And here it's showing a bit more of how the waterlogged stair works, how normally the water would be coming down here, but because it's a waterlogged stair, nothing is actually going down, while we will fall through. That you can use ruin portals when it comes to mining underwater, because when you start the game, as I like to do it, I like to gather myself some items, and I like to go straight down, put on any boots that I find. If they're Frostwalker, that is even better. Grab my magma block and start mining and swimming. With Frostwalker boots, you won't get burnt by the magma blocks, and thus you are actually safe, because without them, oh, I have fire res. Fire res also makes you not get burnt by magma blocks. You will start burning, but as soon as you put the Frostwalker boots on, you will stop burning. And it makes it super easy to get diamonds really quickly in the game because, well, water caves have some of the best rates for finding diamonds. Now, everything works with powdered snow. Powdered snow is one of those things that's super hard, super annoying, and you really need to put on some powdered boots. Not powdered boots, leather boots, if you don't want to sink into it. And we can keep walking even if the powdered snow is around, and we just get achievements for it. But this also has another really cool feature. If you put powdered boots on a villager and you release them if they want to go anywhere, compared to another villager, The villager without leather boots will sink into the powder snow, while the villager with leather boots will not, and they will not die to powder snow. Foxes do not sink in powder snow, so if you were to put down a bucket, don't mind any of that. If you were to put a bucket down, it would not harm the fox at all, which is a really nice little trick. If you were to put leather horse armor on a horse and take it to powder snow, it will sink into the powder snow. But a really cool fact is that it will not die to powder snow. It will not get hurt by it. So we leave this guy over here. I am so sorry, little fella. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. This is so mean of me, I know. You were to lead one in here, this one will start getting hurt and die. I can't take the lead, I'm sorry. But as this horse dies, another really cool feature of powder snow is if you're wearing leather boots, pressing shift makes you go down, space makes you go up, and if you just lean against the block, it will automatically push you up. And over here we have a chest full of stuff. Warts, fungus, and a soul torch. If you're wearing gold, a piglin will not attack you. So we spawn a little piglin guy here. Let's spawn an adult piglin guy. And he won't attack you. And the piglins will be afraid of the torch. A soul torch. But if you were to take off your helmet, they would forget their fear of the torch. And they will continue trying to attack you. So if you don't wear a helmet, they will forget they're afraid of the torch and they will attack you. But one of the best parts is this. The piglins will run away from you if you hide behind these guys. You're probably wondering why I've spawned in some Zoglins. It's because Zoglins are afraid of this. As soon as I hide behind a zombie pigman, the piglin will go away. Because you're the hero of the story. And the Zoglins will be terrified of the fungus. And the most important mob ever? The zombified hoglin. This mob will attack any other mob. Let's see if I don't get attacked first. And the zombified hoglin will attack every single mob, including piglins, hoglins, and zombie piglin. So you can see the Zoglin is attacking the hoglins. Zoglins are also not afraid of wart fungus, which makes them even more dangerous of a mob. Basically, the Zoglin will attack any mob. But yeah, it will even attack babies, which is... That baby killed it. That is amazing. Good job. Great job, little fella. You can look down, and you can fall. I am falling the wrong way. Nope, I fell wrong. I still landed though. Powder snow will prevent your fall even with carpet on top of it, which makes it a super useful thing to have in the game, especially if you have a spot where you do tend to fall a lot. We have one more powder snow thing to do. We have infinity bow, lava bucket, water bucket, powder snow. We need an arrow. If you have a flame bow, it will destroy powder snow. That wasn't a very good example. It will destroy powder snow. If you have water, it will destroy powder snow. And if you have lava, it will destroy powder snow. Albeit a lot slower than water does. So you ever really just want to clear out a bunch of powder snow, and you don't want to be bothered just picking it all up, then I recommend that you do just start shooting or start letting out some water or lava, which would be super. This is how to build a circle. I'm going to show you how I do even circles, which is this one. If you can count down here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out from the middle. And the middle always has 2 blocks for each direction. So the white carpet is where I don't count. So I will always put in 4 blocks and then I will start counting. I will never count these into my thing. It just helps it make it easier for me to keep track of the size of everything and to make sure I've counted everything correctly. This is a very small circle, and when it comes to building a circle on top of the ground, I tend to just build this plus and just, well, circle file it. But underground, I will build a square, which I'm going to get in a bit more detail in a minute. But basically, I build a square after I build in this plus sign, and of course I don't count any of that, nor do I count any of that, which actually gets cut off when I build in the actual circle. So we're going to very, very quickly build in a circle. So 1, 2, this is an odd circle, so we're going to count to an odd number. We're going to count to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to make sure the middle block aligns with your middle. See how that's wrong? So automatically, you would want to be fixing that. So you would do this. One, two, 3, 4, 5. Now, as you can see, it's a bit of a circle, isn't it? But if we go underground now, of course this circle is very different to that circle up there, and I went for a bit more of a squarish design for this spot, just to make it easier to explain what's happening. So the pink carpet shows what I start with. So I start by making the plus sign underground, and then I will dig out the sides. By the blue carpet you can see that I have mined out all the sides. Except for this one, this is the more controlled area, showing how it should look before you actually mine it all out. The second part is I will mine out all of that. Everything that's between this, and this, all that will be gone. So with the red carpet, I have just sort of lined out where I put the blocks. And then here is showing what it looks like after. Of course, that's not going to be a perfect circle, as I made it an easier one to show off exactly what I do. A very different look, and it's a lot more circular, of course, which it should be because it's a lot more curved, which I highly encourage when you're doing with circles, is to always make it a lot more curved than you think it should be. This is going to be showing how water works in stairs and slabs, and I'm going to be making a water source with these 2 buckets. Very quickly, they're making a water source and they're filling the entire area. Yet when it comes down to here, making a water source is not so easy when you're at the bottom of the world, as the water does not tend to source itself. So if I go here and here, the water doesn't connect, meaning that you just have to keep on putting more and more blocks in, because at the bottom of the world, water does not make a water source. So if you ever plan on doing anything at the bottom of the world, which includes water sources, make sure there's full blocks underneath it, just so that you can actually have everything the way you want it to be, and not anger an enderman. And that leads us right into the second part of the end stuff. Wither fights. I know this isn't a wither, but it's also a good way to fight an enderman. in the case you ever spawn a wither in the end and you don't know how to fight it, I recommend building this little thing. It's a simple tower where you can shoot the wither from, you can be safe from the enderman, and then you can just keep fighting the wither. And with the pillars, it can't just come straight for you once it starts breaking blocks. You'll have to keep breaking more and more blocks the further in it gets, which is a very secure way of fighting the wither. And finally, chaos. Zoglins will really attack anything. And they're also very funny. I love them. They will attack endermen, they will attack the wither. And this is absolute chaos. And then you have an even bigger issue on your hand. Who will win? The Zoglins or the Midgens? Let me just turn down the sound before I destroy everybody's ears. The one thing Zoglins do not attack is their own kind. They are being sent back to spawn. This is dangerous. Out of my way! Thank you. Ready, and goodbye. And that is all that we have time for in today's video. This was a lot of fun to make, and it was really nice to go over all the little facts and tricks that I know, and to work with command blocks, which I don't do often. But of course, everything I talked about is very much the way that I do it, and the things that I've learned through looking through updates and how the game has changed, and by watching other YouTube videos. So I hope this little simulation of tips and tricks and facts of the game have helped you figure out some things that you didn't know, or helped you work out how to build the perfect circle that you probably didn't know how to make before, because I understand some people have trouble making circles. Hope you all have a wonderful day, night, evening, or noon, and I'll see you next time. But yes, with enough Zoglins, you too can fight the water.